Okay, we can begin our first response committee now. Members present: Amber Russell, Judy Kerr, Chris Gregory, Linda Bruce, Shane Burton, Brian Crook is absent, David Nollner, David Thomas, and Steve Whitaker. Okay, we do have the minutes from last month, along with this month's agenda if we want to look over it, and then give me a motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we can go right into the EMS report.
Okay. Call volume starting to creep back up. We always have a dip end of the year, first of the following year. So 139 calls for last month. Anticipate to be a little higher coming in February and continue on through the rest of the year around our normal 140 to 150. All of our payments and everything are where we're supposed to be. Like you can see, our insurance and write-offs and everything those are our contractual write-offs that we are obligated to pay or not collect. On the staffing, we are full staff still. And other than Teresa, who's still coming in a couple days a week to maintain billing till we get the third-party billing up and running, which we're pretty close to starting. They want to start that next month, first of next month. So we should have the third-party billing started then. Vehicle fleet, so this kind of falls also into some pending grant stuff. So we had the chamber reach out and have a grant that they offered us that we may be able to purchase an ambulance with. So we're hoping that comes through and that'll help our vehicle fleet. Our reserve truck is just not doing well. It's in the shop right now. We had it. Our second truck was in the shop during the ice storm, so we had the reserve in place when it hit, and we lost the turbo on it. So we were basically only had one ambulance that was fully functional until we got the other one back. Obviously, it took longer because Chevrolet wasn't open during the ice storm. Training activities, we'll start back with our normal annual training with Ascension and Vanderbilt doing our in-person in-house training. It's maintenance needs. We're still hanging in there with our building. It's we got a little bit of money. We're going to try to at least resurface the floors again where they painted the floor just peeled up. And I think we got plenty in budget to cover that. I don't have any budget concerns. I think we're still running 7 or 8% under budget overall. And I think everything's looking pretty good there. Our grant that was the state EMS grant that was for 20,000 actually came back to be 30,000. So we got a little bit more than we expected out of that one. And so we'll purchase our stair chairs probably completely out of that one. Still have the 10,000 or 13,000 from the other one to purchase some other items we've been looking at. Anybody have any questions?
Just one, Matt. Of course, you mentioned the need for a new ambulance. Of course, last year at budget, of course, you had a remount in there that budget took out. Do you anticipate having that in the 26 budget request?
Not if we get this budget from the chamber. I think we'll be okay.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Beatty, on the ambulance, do you have to bid those out?
It depends. We sometimes go through like a collective that that's already bid out and we don't have to, depending on, but if it's listed inside their collective. If not, then yes, we'd bid them out.
So how does that process work? Do you submit those specs for a bid proposal?
Yes.
You mean the mayor's office doesn't do that?
I come up with the bid specs for the specific vehicle, give it to them and they post it and to whoever's on the 2-week advertisement.
2 weeks. I have a question also. On your page where you've got your stats for the month, you said that you transported to Charleston Medical 29 and transferred from Charleston Medical 28.
Yes, ma'am.
This probably isn't correct, but by any chance, does that mean you took 29 in to get emergency treatment and then had to take 28 on to a higher level hospital from there?
Yes, ma'am. We took 29 patients there. Now the 28 could be a combination of walk-ins to the ER or patients that we brought in. So
But you had to take almost all of them after they went there to a higher level.
yes, the ones we transferred went to another hospital of higher level of care. Yes.
Well, what I'm trying to get at, I'm wondering if stopping there is, I'm asking this question because of we're looking at the other ambulance service. Did everyone that you took there, should they have gone there or should they have first gone to a higher level of service in order to save their life? Or
Well, I don't know that because of the 28 we transferred out. Like I said, they could have just been people that brought themselves to the hospital. There could have been 25 people.
but it was from emergency room.
Well, yeah, some of them. Some probably from the floor, but the majority would probably from the emergency room.
As an ambulance driver, servicer, is it a law or a requirement that you must take people to the nearest hospital? Or are you allowed? Someone's having a really bad heart attack and you think they need a higher level of service, especially if they ask for it. Are you able to do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, the state rules state closest, most appropriate facility for the patient's condition.
Most appropriate.
So if you were having a heart attack, obviously you'd want to go somewhere that could provide cath lab or whatever you may need for what you need.
And does ours provide a cath lab?
No, ma'am. No. We'd have to go to either Gallatin or Wilson County or Nashville.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any questions for Matt?
Does that patient more in danger because it's taken longer to get to a cath lab?
Correct. Yeah. The goal is 90 minutes or less.
I'm sorry.
The goal is 90 minutes or less from time you call to the time you're in the cath lab.
So I have heard not too long ago that this thing with the hospital was more of a hospital wanting to purchase a smaller hospital ambulance service in this area, not necessarily that it came from the hospital. Has anybody feel like we can speak about it here? Has anybody else heard anything about that? That it was, there's a hospital that's trying to get more business in this area, and so they're sending out, they're wanting to purchase smaller entities. And from my understanding, that is what's happened recently, and that's what was sent to us. And not necessarily that it came from the hospital board trying to buy the ambulance service. Is fresh information for me.
So with the information that I know, Ascension is looking, they've already partnered with Sumner Regional. Based on the things that have been going on inside Gallatin's hospital, it looks like they're possibly going to be buying the hospital at some point. If you look at the signage, and they've changed payroll and all to meet Ascension. So there's a good chance that Ascension is going to buy the Life Point hospitals, which would be Gallatin, Trousdale, and Smith. But what was presented to us was from Trousdale, and it wasn't an offer to buy the ambulance service. It was to take over the personnel, because the county would still own the building and the ambulances, and still, if we would have agreed to what they sent us, we'd have still had to keep maintenance and liability on both the equipment and the building itself. So I haven't heard anything about what you're mentioning of anyone trying to just buy it outright. If it gave our employees better benefits and was less cost to the county, I'd be interested in hearing it. But so far, what the hospital presented was a good maybe 300,000 more a year to operate the ambulance service than what Mr. Beatty's doing right now. And I think that was a ridiculous offer, and not exactly sure where they were coming from on that one.
I've heard the same thing about Ascension potentially purchasing the hospitals. That's the most I've heard. Yes, ma'am.
Lebanon.
Yes, ma'am. If you want to go to Lebanon, we'll take you wherever you want to go.
At the same time, at the same time, Ms. Kerr, if you're having a stroke and you need to have TPA administered to save your life, you're not going to want to wait till you get to Lebanon. You're going to want to have that in Hartsville to get it in that window.
They got
Um,
to
They've saved my mother's life twice now.
understand that, but seriously, did they have the right equipment like the thing he was talking about?
And then they life flighted her.
Yeah, they wouldn't use a cath lab for a occlusive stroke, so they have medication that dissolves it.
And the ambulance service people are well-versed in what's probably happening and
Most likely. I mean, there's two types of strokes. Typically, it's occlusive and hemorrhagic, where you get a ruptured vessel where you're bleeding, and those typically present a little bit different than an occlusive. So they're usually pretty easy. Well, I won't say they're easy, but you can distinguish between the two typically. So
I'm expecting either one. The other, I can't.
Don't the hospital up here already have Ascension's name on it? Huh? Yeah.
I think Ascension's like what, 10% or something?
Yeah, they're a partner. They gave a lot of capital money to the hospital about 2 years ago and became a partner with LifePoint. It's suspect. I mean, speculation. I don't know if they're going to go any further beyond that, but based on walking into the hospital, it looks a lot like Midtown.
And I wish that we knew more. I mean, I wish that all of us that sit here knew more about what was going on. But it's coming to us in pieces, which somebody, sends us those pieces and knows more than what we do.
But,
Oh.
yeah. Well, I was going to say that was the whole reason I asked last month and get the full commission approved to set up a committee to look at that, to come back and, okay, is there a way to do this? That's a good idea, or are we better off as we are? So, well, I don't know, it'd even just be question for tonight, because like I said, we have that committee will meet at some point, but I'm saying at some point we should get answers to, hey, is this a good idea? Is this not a good idea? What would it look like? But
Mr. If I'm not mistaken, Chris's motion to the full commission that did pass was for the chairman to set up the committee, not the mayor. The mayor has no involvement in this because it's a conflict of interest with him sitting on the board of the hospital.
From what I understand, the committee is almost complete. I think they're waiting for one or two more people to agree. And I mean, figure this thing out. Okay,
I would assume someone on our
We need to move on to the,
should be on it too.
yes. Okay, so if nobody else has anything for Matt, we need to head on to the rescue squad. Timmy?
Our members are at 21. So we're a full staff. Rescue 2 is our Tahoe, which we took to, had serviced under warranty. Our calls are been 24 from first of the year to 12. Training activities, we got 2 members doing EMT right now class. We have 6 members going to Swiftwater, possibly around May. Then we have our extrication class coming up. Maintenance, everything's been addressed with Cliff. We're working with him. We are looking to add some cameras to the building. Budget concerns, we don't have, everything's good on our end. We did apply for a grant that was turned in February the 20th. We won't hear nothing back from that until possibly May. That's about all I got.
Any questions for Timmy?
Ms. Chair. I'd like to personally thank the rescue squad and the efforts of Mr. Beatty and the work they did the weekend of the ice storm that came through. I've had multiple people talk to me and tell me what a great job they did and how Tri-County and the road department wouldn't have been able to get what they were able to do if it hadn't have been for the rescue squad. So I personally want to thank them for their efforts.
I agree. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Matt. All your
Appreciate it.
people
There was fire department involved as well.
and the fire department. I'm sure you guys are out there with chainsaws. I'm sure you guys are out there with chainsaws. Where are you going to put the cameras in the building?
We're looking to put them on the outside so we can see who's coming in and who's going out. We've had some stuff come up stolen.
Boo. Okay. Anybody have anything? We kind of need to scooch just a little bit.
Madam Chair,
Sure.
I'd like to echo our gratitude from everybody in the Gravel Hill community. I was gonna wait for the commission to do it, all of the first responders, the sheriff department, Tri-County, fire and rescue, everybody, we owe you a debt of gratitude because Gravel Hill was hit hard and you responded beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you, Timmy. Okay. Ken, for your fire.
Madam Chair, since they're rushing on time, I'm going to go ahead and move that since we have two things before us from fire, I'm going to go ahead and move that we approve the resolution on the surplus and defer any decision on the burn ordinance till our next meeting.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Okay, we can go ahead and set that one for approval. And then defer the burn permits for lack of time.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, do we want to speak on the storage garage?
Chief's at the podium. He can do that as he gives his report.
Now, I'm just gonna gloss over this real quick. It's very self-explanatory. On the building, I got 6 RFQs that did close. We're down to 3 3 engineers we believe would suit the bill. I'm gonna go this weekend to look at some of their projects, and we hope to meet with all 3 of those within the first 2 weeks of March. And then ask them after that, start submitting costs for drawings. So we're moving right along with that building. It will not, in case any of y'all are wondering, the placement of this building will not interfere with any plan to put a jail behind the fire hall. It doesn't interfere with it at all.
Mr. Buckmaster, I would ask that you stay in contact with the mayor's office as they bring in that dirt so that it protects the fire hall and where you're wanting to do that construction, so that that water doesn't get pushed over onto the lower end if we have any flooding issues.
Yes, sir. I've already talked to the mayor about it. Our fire hall is elevated 1.5 feet above the flood zone. The parking next to us will be at flood zone, so we're already going to be higher than that. We're pretty sure everything's going to run off the back anyway, but we will work with the engineers to make sure it runs back, not towards us.
That's my concern, is when they build that adjacent lot up, that it defers the water back onto you guys and just causes us more problems. But you got engineers that are going to be there, so as long as everyone's talking to each other, it should work out great.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Buckmaster? Anything further? Okay, sorry, we shortened your time. I'll accept a request to adjourn. Second? Okay, we're adjourned.